A very good evening to one and all present here. My name is Ayush Srivastava, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Amicus Technologies. With me is Nishchal Dua, my co-founder, and our first angel investor, Mr. Aditya Devsood. We founded Amicus Shopping Assistant to fix one of the biggest problems in the e-commerce space: consumer complaints. The online shopping experience is fundamentally broken because of lack of any existing mechanism to give the user a safe shopping experience. Now, this problem is exaggerated even more in the segment of high value purchases. Now, one way to solve this problem is to have a corrective solution at the post purchase stage, where we increase the user's chances of a resolution. Or, more interestingly, we can enter at the pre purchase stage with a preventive solution where we decrease the user's chances of having a consumer complaint. But let's answer the biggest question on everybody's mind: how big is the market opportunity? Is this problem big enough for Amicus to become a $1 billion company? Now, here's an interesting fact: e commerce in India accounts for less than 1% of retail sales of a 550 billion retail market. There are several reasons for it, but one of the most prominent reasons was discussed in a report by the Boston Consulting Group, which said that online shopping is full of risks, and one of the reasons why India isn't growing at the same pace as China and the United States is because of a lack of trust. Now, in terms of existing alternatives, in the market of product discovery, you have price comparison sites, you have coupons, you have cashbacks, and the entire mechanism is around discounts. And none of the existing alternatives are fixing this problem. So, in terms of the size of the market, uh, our biggest target consumer are those shoppers who have had a consumer complaint, because these are the people who understand the value of a pre-purchase solution where they have access to the right kind of information. Now, the other segment of the people that we're targeting are those who haven't had a bad experience but are generally risk averse. And then there are, of course, the people who are offline, who haven't gotten online, and will do so if given the right type of information and a brand which invokes the right kind of trust. We have looked at 50 lakh complaints collected from 14 sources, and we realized there are three components in every transaction: the risk of something going wrong, the rights that you have when something goes wrong, and the response of the company when you invoke these rights. Now, all of these three R's combine to give you the real cost. Now, when these risk elements are there and you invoke certain rights, there are several other problems, and some of the most common ones that we hear is that the warranty was refused by the service center because these manufacturers do not recognize certain e-commerce players as authorized resellers, and this led to a lot of problems. Now, even when you know your rights and risk element, you still don't know what is going to be the response of the company when your rights are invoked. And all of these elements combine to give you the real cost of any purchase. And this is the heart of what Amicus is. While solving consumer complaints, we realized that the best solution is one where we are collecting data about risk, rights, and response. And we are doing it from multiple sources, such as social web, terms, and conditions. And we're putting it through our real cost engine. Now, this is a fascinating piece of technology that we have developed, which is looking at 60 variables. We're doing NLP and sentiment analysis. And at the end of it, the user gets a summary of the most relevant risks along with what we call as the real cost, which ranks both manufacturers and sellers. Now, while we are understanding how we're solving this problem, it is important to look at the magic sauce, at the technology which is powering this. At the heart of a solution is the Amic rank algorithm, which is a function, as I already said, of risk, rights, and response. But there are several variables which contribute to this algorithm. Now, on the top, you'll see PMR, SAR, MRRR, SRRR, MRQ, and SRQ. These are all elements on the left side which represent the manufacturer, and on the right side which represent the seller, which is the online platforms. Now, in the course of developing this algorithm, we are currently looking at 60 plus variables. But as you will see here, the individual specific personalization factors are something that is going to revolutionize this industry. We will look at factors which are unique to the individual, their specific shopping pattern, their location, and other things such as their risk factors in terms of how likely they are to use the product. There are also several other instances where the location of the individual is going to alter the rights that they have and the likely response of the company. So, all in all, this is something that is unique to the industry of product discovery. It has been used in ancillary industries such as insurance and finance, and never before for the B2C online transactions. Over to you, Nishil.
Hi, I'm going to show you how Amicus is going to completely change the way you shop online. But before we do that, let's have a look at how we really shop today. So it all starts with a budget. We all have a price range. So let's say I'm looking for best mobile under 25,000. I'll start by looking at different websites and blogs which offer me great content. Say I've already selected Samsung Galaxy S5 to be the phone I want to buy. Let's go deeper. More research, more reviews. So on GSM Arena itself, I have user opinions and reviews, which themselves total to 9,600. Now that's a lot of opinions to read. Now, I have the reviews. How about I look at the quality of service that Samsung provides? So I'm going to look for Samsung complaints. Samsung complaints, consumercomplaints.in, complaintboard.in. I want Samsung complaints from mouth shut. Samsung mobile phones. I want them from Grahak Seva, and I also want Akosha complaints. Grahak Seva, bad service at customers care, cheated by Samsung Service Center, harassment at Samsung Service Center. So I start looking at information from Flipkart, Snapdeal, and Amazon, let's say. The three biggest ones that I trust. So now again I have 52 reviews to read, 51 reviews on Snapdeal website, and then on Amazon I have 60 more reviews. Flipkart complaints. So I have thousands of reviews and complaints to read. Now let's see how Amicus simplifies your entire product and seller discovery and makes it the safest shopping experience ever. Based on our user research and A/B testing, we realized that there are two ways a person makes a purchase. You either have a budget in mind or you know what you want to buy. These are two entry funnels for Amicus. Taking the previous example, let's say we have a budget of 25,000. I want a phone under 25,000. Let's Amicus it. This is the Amicus product discovery page showing me the best phones in the range of 15 to 25,000. I have standard things like images and specifications of each phone. Along with that, secret sauce, risk, rights, and response. By default, Amicus sorts the smartphones based on Amicus rank algorithm, which is a combination of your specification score, score over risk, score in rights, and response. I can have a look at the risk involved in making this purchase, the rights I get if I buy a Nexus 5, and the response of the company, which will be LG in this case. I can do a quick comparison. Now all these phones are arranged by the Amicus rank algorithm, which of course can be changed by clicking on features, risk, rights, and response depending on what is of more priority to you. I can also filter the results based on the channel or the sources you have already collected from. Now let's say I want to buy an Nexus 5. Let me find sellers for this phone. This takes me to the seller discovery page. You get the seller specific risk, rights, and response. So what Amicus is telling me right now is that according to the real cost, it is best that I buy Nexus 5 from Amazon. You can see that the price here is slightly higher than that on Snapdeal, lesser than that on Flipkart, but because of the ranking in risk and response, Amazon should get my order, and click on buy.
Now, at several points of time, we talked about a pre-purchase solution, but we haven't talked about how we are going to find this ideal customer who has had such an experience in the past. Now, as we said earlier, there exists a post-purchase solution where we can increase the chances of a resolution by a user by amplifying their complaint. Now, we allow the user on our app to construct a simple complaint, and in a single click, he can send it to several social media and web channels. Now, the reason why it increases his chances of a resolution by almost 70% is because we have reverse engineered these brand sentiment analysis tools, and we put in the right keywords and give it the right exposure on multiple channels, which triggered these sentiment analysis tools, thereby increasing the likelihood of a resolution. Now, the beauty of this user acquisition strategy is that we not only get access to raw data, which enriches our database, but we can also cross sell a pre purchase solution to this user by telling him that the next time he buys it, he has to Amicus it.
On the post-purchase side, let's see what users are currently doing when they have a complaint. It starts with getting the customer care information. You need the customer care email address and the phone number. If this doesn't work, users start going social. We look for Paytm Care Twitter account and Paytm Facebook account. We go to consumer complaint portals. We have consumercomplaints.in, National Consumer Helpline, CCRC, Akosha. For reviews, we go to mouthshut.com. Now that's the usual steps being taken if you want to get your complaint resolved. All of these portals have lengthy forms, which means that you need to repurpose your complaint each and every time you want to lodge it somewhere. Amicus post-purchase mobile application. It has a simple objective to help our users effortlessly lodge a complaint, take the necessary action, and get a resolution. Let's start by creating a complaint. We select a category, smartphones, select the manufacturer, the product, select the seller. We can now enter relevant information like order date, delivery date, attach picture or screenshot of the product, describe the problem, picture of the problem, order ID. All the relevant information required by the seller or the manufacturer to take an action on the complaint. Once we're done, the application automatically creates my complaint along with the attached proof. After this, I can select the channel on which I want to take action. Level 1 is to contact customer care. I can contact them by email or phone number. One simple click allows me to contact them directly from my phone or send them an email. On level 2, I can contact the manufacturer or the seller via social media accounts like Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. It directly posts my complaint created earlier to all these accounts. On level 3, we further escalate the issue to consumer complaint portals like Mouthshut, Akosha, Grahak Seva. If the complaint is still not resolved by now, level 4 opens up, which allows the user to send their consumer complaints directly to government bodies and consumer courts. You can see all your posted complaints here along with the status, resolved, pending. We can see a timeline view of all the inputs that happened with your complaint. See the social reach of your complaint on Facebook and Twitter. The app itself has been gamified to improve the engagement within the app.
Now, let us get a clearer idea of the competitive landscape. We're in the market of product and seller discovery of high value purchases, which has two key salient features: the ability to perform quick search results, which is fully automatic and therefore scalable, and the fact that the recommendation is done by relying on multiple factors, both internal and external. Now, in the second quadrant, we find our price comparison companies, our coupon and cashback companies. There are almost 30 to 40 such startups. Now, the space has gotten really hot. My Smart Price just yesterday raised 10 million US dollars in its Series B round. But the problem is, these companies are not going to remain around based on the affiliate business model when e-commerce consolidates. And that's a big problem. In the third quadrant, we have our chat-based concierge services, which are, you know, just glorified call centers because they're sitting and responding to complaints and not doing anything else. If you look at the fourth quadrant, now here are some sophisticated chat-based concierge services like Akosha and Haptic. Now Akosha started with a similar model. They were into consumer complaints, but now they've pivoted to only chat-based consumer to business communications. But they still have the problem of scalability because there are actual human agents who take anywhere between 7 to 8 minutes to respond to queries such as which is the best phone in the range of 15 to 20,000. Then finally we have the most exciting quadrant, which is the quadrant which has personalization based and social commerce based companies. Now there are extreme developments in terms of using data to improve the user experience. We have, of course, seen how Amazon pioneered this and how it has become an undisputed leader in the United States of America because of this. But there lies a difference between companies such as LimeRoad, Bonek, and Amazon to the extent that their personalization is only focused on internal factors. They're not looking at the external factors that Amicus is looking at, and that is what makes us unique. In terms of how a business model evolves over the next 5 years, there are three things which are relevant to us to grow: how much shopping data we have, how much consumer trust we can invoke, and the accuracy of the real cost engine. Now, in the first segment, which is this, where affiliate marketing is alive, there are logistical nightmares, there is low trust of the consumer. We, of course, have the current business model where we make money on affiliate revenue. And we do give the businesses an opportunity to give us organic data about what is their response time, what is their failure rate, and we charge businesses for the same. But in a scenario when, and this is a risk, that e commerce consolidates and we no longer have affiliate shopping, but the beauty of this is in that phase one, we have gained the trust of the consumer by being a purely B2C company. And now we can leverage that data to become a data analytics company, which we either provide it as a service to the top two, three e-commerce companies, or we do it ourselves in terms of giving analytics to companies about churn, about user satisfaction, about personalization, etc. But there is, of course, another risk that when we become a B2B company, we may lose the trust of the consumer. Now, in each of these three scenarios, option one allows us to continue being doing what we're doing, except we now have enough data to, in fact, do it with a Siri type automated chat based interface, or we have the option of entering into high value purchases ourselves with a chat like interface because that seems to be something that consumers prefer. And finally, we have option three where we use the fact that the accuracy of our real cost has gone from 95 to 100% and use it in B2B transactions, which are multi-million dollar transactions in the insurance and BFSI sector. And that is how we deal with risk. But the big question on everybody's mind is how quickly are we going to achieve this? We have clear distinctions in terms of four phases that we're going to operate in. We are currently at the stage of the seed round, which is going to be raised by hopefully by August and hopefully by the Stanford Angels and Entrepreneurs. We hope to raise a Series EA by November, where one of our major focuses with the seed round is the integration of hyperlocal and offline retailers, as you can see here, and to strengthening our product and data infrastructure. We subsequently hope to be launching in global markets by June of 2016. Now we've talked about our business model. We know it's an exciting market. We know that the product is something which is unique and innovative. But the question is, do we have the team to deliver it? And I'm happy to tell you, we've gotten together an exciting team of people who have worked earlier together and people who have a complementary skill set which is going to help us build this product. I personally have worked on two B2B startups which were related to services and which has given me a lot of exposure in terms of dealing with issues such as legal risk analysis, market analytics, and risk modeling. Nishchal here is a product guy. He has amazing experience in dealing with startups, growth hacking, and managing a team of developers. I've known Nishchal for the last 7 years, and this allows us to understand. And we have worked on several professional projects before, which allows us to work excellently well together. Our tech team is extremely balanced in terms of mobile expertise and web expertise, and different types of data scientists who are helping us clean and analyze the huge gamut of data that we're collecting. We're raising 1 crore at a 10 crore valuation, as you can see here. This is based on revenue projections that we have worked on based on the need that we have understood in the market. The burn rate here, as you can see, is 68 lakhs, which is mainly going to be focused on recruiting an exciting team of data scientists and investing in the right infrastructure to build data capabilities and to build technology capabilities. We're very happy to be doing this in front of Stanford angels and entrepreneurs. Please feel free to find us at these coordinates. We are happy to touch base with entrepreneurs from the Stanford network who can not only bring on board relevant mentorship but also domain expertise in the field of data analytics and risk modeling. We're very happy to connect with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.